Hey friend, welcome to my podcast, The Fit Soul. I'm your host, Amy Ramsey. In this podcast, we will be discussing soul-filled strategies to unleash your confidence, increase your energy, and all the things healthy lifestyle. If you're a Christian woman who is ready to reach your God-given potential, walk worthy of your calling with abundant joy and energy, girlfriend, you are in the right spot. I mean, you only have one life to live. You might as well maximize it. Buckle in, and thanks for listening. Hey, and welcome back to the Fit Soul podcast. All right, I have an embarrassing story that I'm going to share with you today. And the reason why I'm going to share this story is because I have shared some similar stories before, and every time I do, I can't tell you the messages that I get from women that say, oh my goodness, thank you for sharing that because I literally thought that I was the only one. So anyway, here goes my embarrassing story. And before I even share that story, I just want you to know my journey with health and wellness is just like everyone else's. It's a little up, it's a little down. And I don't know if you've seen that meme or graphic, I don't even know what it's called, but it's choose your hard. Losing weight is hard. Being fat is hard. And I want to just say maintaining a healthy weight is hard. It's all hard. You choose your hard. And so with that being said, I am just like everyone else on my own journey to find that balance of maintaining a healthy weight, being strong, reaching my goals, helping others do the same thing. And I know that when I share stories like this, that I struggle with sugar. I am a sugar addict. I love me some sugar. I don't have trouble with like popcorn or chips or dip. Now, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I really like it, but I can manage myself better with certain things. But when it comes to sugar and sweets, I'm an addict, and it's sugar is absolutely addictive in the brain. We know this. And so when I get off of what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm on a sugar cycle, kind of like I was over the holidays. I shared with you the stories already on a previous podcast about being on the struggle bus during the holidays and how I just don't feel good. I don't like the way I feel. So one of the things that I have to do is when I have sweets, I have to throw them away. Finally, when I'm like, and stop, you're done, I have to throw it away, but I can't just throw it away in my trash can like a normal person. I have to go throw it away like outside, and I have to put coffee grounds and dirt and gross stuff on top of food because let me tell you something, sister has gone dumpster diving before. I've literally, so some of you are like, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. But some of you are going to be like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one. I have gone in the trash can for when I've thrown away junk food, and I've reached in there and I've eaten it again. It's bad. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you one other thing I did one time. One time I made a pan of, okay, listen, Reese cups they're quite possibly the most perfect food on the planet. Reese cups, the perfect amount of salt and the perfect amount of chocolate and the peanut butter. Oh my gosh. It's yum. I love Reese cup. In fact, do you know that when companies are making these junk foods, they actually have scientists that watch the brain light up in the reward center of the brain for the exact perfect amount of sugar, salt, and fat. They are looking for the reward center to light up to that addiction level. And so if you've ever thought, how come I can't put things down? Well, just know it's an addiction. So I want to give you some tips today. I want to share with you a crazy story, and then I'm going to give you some tips on what I do and what I did in my latest debacle. All right, so confession time, crumble cookie confession time. Now, if you're not familiar with what crumble cookie is, it's a cookie company, and they have warm cookies, and they have a rotation of cookies. So each week there's actually a cookie recipe. And each week they have different cookies, and they make things really, 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 really simple for you to order, and they're delicious and they're so nice. Well, one, and they just moved in. I have one that's zero point 0.7 miles from my house. Danger. That's a danger for Amy because I am a cookie monster. I love cookies. Like I can't, I'm an empty nester, but if I were to make a batch of cookies, I could quite possibly eat the whole batch and not share them with anybody else. It's true. It's true. Oh, back to that Reese cup thing. One time, there used to be this box mix of Reese peanut butter. It's like this, I don't know what you would call it, like a little dessert, like a brownie type of thing. It was so good. It tasted just like a Reese cup. One time I made one and I put it in the refrigerator in the laundry room, and I literally ate the whole thing and never even told my family. There's another confession for you. I'm not proud of this. I'm saying I'm not proud of this, but I want to share with you some of the ways that I've learned to overcome this. I guess it's binging on sugar, kind of nosedive into the addiction of sugar. All right. So the other day, I'm getting my nails done, and my appointment ran a little bit late. I was supposed to go and work out at 4:30. Well, I couldn't make it to the 4:30 class, and I was kind of lost. I'm like, but I'd had some bad news while I was actually at the nail salon, and I was on the phone with my husband, sharing with him kind of an updated thing, and I ended up thinking to myself, you know what? I can go to the 5:30 class, or I can just go home. I'll just go home and work out. So mistake number one for me is that I need to do my exercise in the morning, either early in the morning or very first thing in the morning. My odds of getting my workout in decreases dramatically if it's not done by 10 a.m. That's just the way I am. It's just the way my personality is. And I know that about myself. So almost I'm super consistent, and I'm almost always exercise in the morning. Well, this particular day I shifted it around, and then I kind of got thrown off when it was going to be now 5:30, and then I had this bad news. And so I'm talking to my husband on the phone. I'm sharing with him kind of this bad news. And then I go back to the gym, and I'm kind of waiting to go to the 5:30 class. And let me tell you what happened was, because I'm not proud of this, but I'm just going to tell you what happened was. So I get off the phone with my husband, and then I made a decision that, you know what? I am so hungry. I'm just gonna go by Crumble Cookie. I'm just gonna run by Crumble Cookie real quick and get one cookie and just eat part of it, and I'll throw the rest away because it's Thursday. I have done really, really well this week. I have done so good. I'm really proud of myself. I think I was feeling like maybe I deserved something sweet because it was Thursday, and I'm not sure. I wasn't really feeling deprived because I eat well and I'm not hungry. Well, anyway, next thing I know, my butt's driving. My car just turns into the parking lot at Crumble Cookie. Now, let me tell you something about Crumble Cookie. They have a rotation of cookies, and they have this app. They make it so simple for you. So they have this app, and I'm looking on the app. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get one cookie. I'm going to get one cookie, and I'm going to eat part of it, because when they first opened in July, I was going and getting a cookie or three or four or six, whatever. And I saw that the calorie count was like 120 calories or 150 calories for a cookie. I'm like, I don't know what, in fact, I told my husband, I told Randy, I'm like, I don't know what they're doing with these cookies, but man, I can't believe they're only 120 to 50 calories. It's amazing. Well, y'all, you got to check the servings. Like, nope, nay, there's 4 servings in one cookie. So this entire time I've been eating these cookies thinking 120 to 150 calories, and I might scarf down a couple. I'm scarfing down 1,200 to 1,800 calories on a cookie. Oh my goodness. So lesson learned. So now I know that if I go to get a cookie, I just need to eat part of it and throw the rest away. And only order one, because they make it to where you order one, or you save money if you order four, right? So typically I order four. And you can order it on the app, and they have weekly specials. Like, oh my gosh. So each week it's like, whoo, heaven, which one do I want to try? So I decided to try the one with Reese cups, because I've just told you about my love and affection for Reese cups. And if you're a Reese cup lover, let me know, because we're twins. Anyway, so I'm looking, and they have also one. They have another one that looks so delicious. And I'm on my app, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get both of them, and I'm not gonna eat them all. It'll be fine. So there's mistake number two. I ordered two cookies instead of one. Now, this is just me, y'all. Now, mind you, this is 1,200 calories we're talking about. And I'm really on a journey right now to get this holiday fluff off me. It's driving me crazy. I've got all these events coming up, a couple of weddings, and I've got these cocktail dresses to wear. And I really am ready to get rid of this extra holiday fluff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I am now ordering two, knowing I'm going to be fine. It'll be fine. And this is what I'm telling myself, right? I'm already compromising what I wanted to do, which was go exercise. I'm already compromising going to Crumble Cookie during the week. I've already made this compromise. Well, now I guess I might as well compromise again. Isn't that the way it works, though? You compromise a little, and then before you know it, a little more, a little more, a little more. They also, Crumble Cookie, back to Crumble Cookie, they make it so simple to where you don't even have to get out of your car. You actually, on this app, you order it, your credit card's stored in there. You don't have to get any information out. Click, 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 and they literally walk it out to your car. Oh my gosh, it's so simple. So now two cookies come to my car. Well, here's the embarrassing part. I live zero point 0.7 miles away. So I decided that, you know what, I'll just go home and work out. It's not a big deal. And from that Crumble Cookie to my house, y'all, oh my gosh, I kept looking around to see if I knew the people on the left or the right of me in their car. I ate 80% of both cookies in zero point 0.7 miles. Now, I'm not proud of this. I'm kind of embarrassed about it. I kept having to lick my fingers. I didn't have a napkin. Like, what? You would have thought that I have zero manners. It was embarrassing. Like, literally, as I'm doing this, and it was almost like I had to hurry and eat it so I could get rid of the evidence. And I ate 80% of both of those cookies. And one of them I didn't even love. Actually, the chocolate, the Reese cup one, it wasn't even that great. It was like peanut butter on top of it. It wasn't even a whole lot. It wasn't enough chocolate. It wasn't even that great. By the time I pulled into my driveway, I just looked at myself. I'm like, good Lord. Uh, okay, so I put my brain back into gear, and I want to share with you what I did to get off of that cycle, because I was sharing this exact story with a Walkworthy VIP client of mine on a coaching call the very next day. And she told me, she goes, oh my goodness, Amy, thank you for sharing that story with me. Um, I really, she goes, I thought I was alone. I'm like, no, girl, you're not alone. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I did after this is as important as the mistake. So here's the tips I want to share with you today on um, how to overcome a debacle when they happen. Because here's the deal. Maybe you don't binge like that, or maybe you don't go nosedive down. Okay. Maybe that's not your thing, but to some degree, we all screw up. And here's the thing. It's not if we're going to screw up in our walk for a healthy lifestyle. It's when we do. How we handle this is really important. So the number one tip is stop the beat up cycle and disrupt that. There's this tendency to think, oh my gosh, and we get in this beat up cycle. It's guilt, it's shame, and it's like we punish ourselves. We're angry with ourselves. Here's the thing. You can in reality be disappointed with yourself. Like, you know what? That was a really bad choice, and let's figure out what to do better next time. Or I'm disgusting. I'm a pig. I can't believe I did that. I am a loser. When will I ever, I'm just, I'll never get over this. I'll never get better. That's the beat up cycle I'm talking about. You got to disrupt that pattern because your mistake is not your identity. Um, when you do things like that, that does not define who you are at all. But if you allow it to define you and allow yourself to stay in that beat up pattern, it's actually not going to help you do better next time. That's what the research shows us, is that even that guilt cycle, that beat up cycle, doesn't help you improve and do better next time. So empower yourself, disrupt that pattern if you find yourself in the beat up cycle, and then figure out how to empower yourself for next time. All right. Step number 2 is debrief the debacle. All right. Take time, take space. I'm a massive proponent of journaling. People who journal actually have more success reaching their goals than others. And there's a reason why, because it allows time and space to process information and to have self-reflection. And in the self-reflection, it's easier to make course adjustments, even micro course adjustments. So I took some time, and I journal in the morning and I journal in the evening. And in the evening, I ask myself some questions like, what lessons have I learned today? What can I do differently tomorrow? And some of those types of questions really help you to be better prepared for the next day, and also to debrief your failures, which I really think is important. So here's the thing. You've got to take it from a place of self-compassion and non-judgmental, be non-judgmentally, and a place of curiosity. Like, why did that happen? What was going on? So what I did for myself in that moment is I didn't do a beat up cycle. And I really did just think, why did I just do this? This goes against everything I know to do. This goes against everything that all of my goals that I'm actually working really hard to achieve. And I just kind of blew it for sure today. So I checked in with myself. I checked in with myself physically. Like, what was going on physically? Well, a couple of things that I hadn't done as I was doing this check-in was I hadn't had my proper protein, prioritized protein. I hadn't had enough protein so far, which protein really helps to promote satiety. I had gotten away from it, so that would have helped. Number 2, I was behind on my hydration. Oftentimes the body confuses hunger with thirst. I've got this big, massive water jug, and I looked at it, I felt it, I was behind on my hydration. Actually, that would have helped me to have not had the nosedive. Check in with yourself. Like, how are you doing nutritionally? Because, if you eat some junk, it creates that cycle for more junk. I hadn't really had that. I'd eaten well. My nutrition was on point. But I also checked in with myself emotionally. Like, how was I doing emotionally? How was my stress levels? What was going on? And that is when I realized, oh, you know what? A couple of things. I had a very stressful phone call and had been given some really bad news. If I'm just being really honest, I was given some really bad news, and it's really stressful. And I'm just going to say right here that I would love some prayer requests. I'm just going to throw it out there, and I'm not going to share publicly what it is, but there was just something that was just really heavy and weighty, and I was like, oh my gosh. So emotionally, that could trigger into sugar, because sugar makes you feel better right away. It doesn't make you feel better long term, but it really does give you that instant relief. So when I checked in with myself and I debriefed the debacle from this non-judgmental, curious place, I realized, okay, I was behind on my protein. I was behind on my nutrition. I didn't work out first thing in the morning like I normally do. That could have contributed to it as well. And I had that bad news. So I was like, okay, all of those factors doesn't make it okay, but it helped me understand better what to do. And so tip number 3 is, I want you to think through what and how will you handle the temptation or the trigger as the best version of yourself next time. What can you do to avoid that next time? Like, how can you take this lesson and learn so you don't have another triggered response where you're not reaching your goals that you set forth? So, a couple of things that I want to share with you what I did, just so it can just kind of, get you going for your own goals, for your healthy lifestyle. Because, like, we're in this together, right? We are in this together. So, a couple of things that I did right. I do want to say I did some things right. Number one, right when I got home, and I had my brain go, "What the girl? What the heck did you just do?" Like, I went outside and I threw away. It was only 20%, but hey, it was 20%. I threw away the rest of those crumble cookies, and I made them yucky, so I wouldn't go back in the middle of the night and get them. Okay, so I threw away the rest. I also want to tell you that as much as I didn't want to do it, I came home and I did my workout. I was like, okay, no, already sabotaged that, but I do need to get my exercise in for sure. All right. Another thing that I did, and this is just James Clear has an excellent book. In fact, it's a must read for my one on one clients, and it's called Atomic Habits. And he talks about the formation of good habits. And then he also talks about how do you break a bad habit. And one of the things that you do to break a bad habit is that you make it very difficult. You've got to remove the ease of the bad habit. So I can't remove the fact that Crumble Cookie is zero point 0.7 miles from my house and I have to drive by it every day. But what I can remove is the app from my phone. I deleted the app from my phone. I'm going to make it harder for myself if I want a cookie, and this is part of what I'm planning to do. And by the way, I will be going back to Crumble Cookie and getting a cookie, but not this week. But now I got to go park my car, and now I got to get out in front of God and everybody, and I got to go order that cookie, and I got to go wait in line. I'm not going to put the app on my phone. Another thing that I did is and again, this all came up in my journaling. I'm like, okay, how can I prepare? What is the higher version, the best version of myself? How can I avoid this next time? I put snacks in my car. I've got some little bars, you can buy them at the grocery store, Whole Foods. But I just put some bars in my car. And I actually ate them the next day. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I did that. I should have had that in there already. So I set myself up for more success for the next time. So I just wanted to share with you that if you if you have struggled, this level of struggle, difficulty with sugar, that you're not alone and that it is an addiction and that we can overcome it as well. And these three things: stop the beat up cycle, debrief the debacle, and what would you do next time? And how can you make it harder? How can you break the bad habit? How can you make it a little bit harder next time? Will help you to overcome your whatever it is as well. One final note, one funny note. So I was feeling better the next day. The next morning I get up and of course I'm writing in my journal and I'm really preparing myself for, okay, girlfriend, you got this. You can do this today. I'm really like coaching myself up and I want you to do the same thing. But I got prepared. I'm on top of my water. I've got my food laid out. I'm better prepared for the day. And I get in my car to leave the next morning and y'all, my steering wheel was sticky. I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, listen, we're in this health and wellness journey together. We've got this. If you need some help kind of jump starting your own goals, I have a jump start. I'll attach it in the show notes here. It gives you the tools for not just healthy lifestyle, not just the physical part, but it also has mindset and it also has a spiritual jumpstart as well. It's so good. I've just released it. I'm real proud of this, and that'll be in the show notes. If you're wanting some help, can't get my words out, wanting my help. And if you have any of maybe some of the issues that I do, and you can relate to this, I would love for you to reach out to me and let me know, because I always find it so fascinating when I do share my my stories like this, how many of you say to me, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I thought I was the only one and I felt horrible about myself. So if you're feeling this too, girlfriend, you are not alone, but I would love to hear how this encouraged you today to overcome the cycle and that we can do better together. We really can. If you're also looking for maybe some accountability in this area and some one-on-one help, just reach out to me as well. I do one-on-one coaching. Um, Alrighty, friend. Well, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you. I'm just filled with gratitude that you're here on this journey with me. If you enjoyed this podcast, would love for you to help me get the word out, screenshot it, throw it in your stories, tag me, all the things, and have an incredible day.
Girlfriend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm so honored you come back every week and that you share the Fit Soul podcast with your friends and family. Every time you share my podcast on Instagram or Facebook, I do a little happy dance. Make sure you subscribe to the Fit Soul podcast where you'll never miss an episode. You can go to Podcast, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode release. And just know, I truly love bringing you excellent content and great guests to provide you motivation and faith inspiration to help you walk worthy. And one of the ways you can help me is to go and leave the Fit Soul podcast a review. If you have just a moment, would you please go over and leave a review for the Fit Soul podcast? Thank you again. I love you. And here is your reminder. You are worthy. Until next time. Bye-bye.